That's the only part in that movie that sticks in my mind. I mean, I like that movie, but it's the only part that really sticks in my mind dialogue-wise. Is when she does that to him out on the stadium. Put on your happy face. All right, as soon as Mr. Bloom comes back in, he's like the rest of us. He's misplaced his phone. So he's going to check real quick, and then we'll get started. Had to go through this last night with my wife misplacing her phone. So.
That's a fire incident. Just going through the just.
Did you get it? Did you find it? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Disrupt. Sure.
No,
It's not for.
Okay. I'll find it here in just a minute. Y'all ready? All right. Time is 6:30. We'll call this meeting to order. First off, everybody will bow their heads. Dear God, we want to thank you for everything that you do for each and every one of us, that you protect us, that you give us wisdom and guidance. We ask that you will always look down on us favorably and protect us from the things going on in this world, and to give us the wisdom to make good, sound decisions on the things that we have to do. Not only us that are up here as city council members and your city government, but those of us as human beings in our everyday lives in the things that we have to do. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. Ms. Gibbon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Adrian on both of them, or which one? One that says the public hearing? Both of them, or? Well, there's two of them. There's one for... Okay. That's what I want to make sure of. All right, as I always say in every meeting, the rules of decorum are in effect. First off is going to be a proclamation for Mr. Larry Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, if you'll step up here. I think my voice can boom enough that I can be heard. All right, folks. Mr. Reynolds has done some things for our city that warrant him to have a proclamation. I need to do all the whereas, wherefores, why is. So here we go. Whereas Larry Reynolds has been a resident of McLendon-Chisholm since October of 2003, and whereas Larry Reynolds is the owner of Sunshine Electric Incorporated and has owned and operated the business since 1998, and whereas McLendon-Chisholm Fire Rescue operates from the former City Hall quarters, and the city hired firefighters to work 24-hour day shifts beginning in October of 2018. The building was inadequate to house firefighters for 24 hours a day. And whereas Larry Reynolds has graciously donated countless hours and materials of upgrading the McLendon-Chisholm Fire Rescue quarters to comfortably house the new full-time firefighters. And whereas Larry Reynolds' renovation efforts have greatly improved the living quarters of the fire station, the work is greatly appreciated. And whereas Larry Reynolds has undeniably left an indelible and lasting imprint on this great city, and citizen of McLendon-Chisholm. Now, therefore, I, Keith Short, by virtue of the authority and power vested in me as the mayor of the city of McLendon-Chisholm, do hereby recognize and thank Larry Reynolds for his many hours of donated labor and materials to upgrade the McLendon-Chisholm Fire Station quarters, and encourage all residents to join me in celebrating his generosity and contributions to our committee. When you have an individual that's willing to step up and donate time, material, well, they don't have to, they could have been just a businessman and go, no, here's what we normally do. You know, it shows the spirit of a community. It shows that I'm willing to step up because I care about my community. Thank you so much. All right. Both people that have signed up for comments are going to be during the public hearings. Nobody else has signed up for actual citizens' comments, so there are no citizen comments for tonight, except for the ones reserved for the public hearings. All right, items for consideration. The first one is 6.1, approval of the July 9th City Council meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I have some problems with it, some changes.
Okay. Have you discussed those changes or given those to Lisa? What changes?
On the part where it states, in there it states that it's 50 days to the expiration date. It's actually 150 days. And that's why I was questioning if we got a date set out before the 150 days to make sure, just so we're all in agreement that either it's a go or not, because 150 days is a lot, you know, to not know whether or not they're doing a good job. And I'm sure they will be, but it's just, I don't want to get stuck in something that we can't do. It states, for the additional one-year term at the discretion of the district and city, unless written notice of termination is provided by the terminating party to 150 days. I believe you guys, minutes, it states just for 50 days before that. And it will otherwise it will automatically renew every year. It's underneath the part where it says made by Mayor Pro Tem and seconded by Kippett.
What section?
Do you want to plan and I'll check on that? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I just wanted to make sure that we're not past the date that we can change our mind. You understand? Okay.
So am I.
Okay. In here, it's on the minutes. It states that there is a statement that if the city or the county decided that they no longer want to participate in the agreement, that they would provide notice 50 days before that. In the actual, where'd it go? In the actual agreement, it says 150 days. Yeah.
Well, then it just needs to be changed to
Yeah.
150 for the minutes. Is
Right.
what you're asking is a
Yeah,
correction.
just to change correct the minutes from 50
All right.
minutes or 50 days to 150 days.
And that's fine. We can still make a motion to approve the minutes with changes.
Yes.
All right. Do I have a motion? Is there any other things you saw in there?
I just wanted to make sure that we do have
Okay.
that date.
Um,
No problem.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes with that change?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with recommended changes from Councilmember Woessner.
All right. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Show that unanimous. All right. Moving on to 6.2, approval of July 15th 2019 City Council minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the July 15th, 2019 council meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Show that unanimous. Okay, that is going to be difficult tonight. All right. What I'm going to do is move a couple of items up and move a couple of items down. We're going to move over 6.3 and 6.4 and move to 6.5. Public hearing and discussion and action regarding a request by Anthony Crowley on behalf of Ty Davenport seeking approval of a preliminary plat for Davenport Estates, a 6.188 acres, part of Rockwall CAD parcel ID 11452, K Latham Survey, track 67, generally located on Smith Road, south of FM 550. So we will go to that one right there. Carl, yes, you have something that you need to. I know, with the sun.
That's the worst spot.
If you'll push the microphone that way. Thank you, sir. It's on.
Carl Crawley with Master Plan. The first item of these two plats is the Davenport plat, I'll call it. That's the owner of the property. As you mentioned, it's a one-lot plat. It's zoned A, or agriculture. Basically, the plat is more than anything else, just it's to convey the front part of that property, the 6 acres approximately. We've had some communication. The future owner would like to buy build a single-family home there. They want the property platted, obviously, beforehand. The only real condition that we've asked to be placed on there is that there's a remainder in the back part. We don't like, and the law really doesn't allow you to have a remainder that's landlocked, and this would be landlocked, that prior to the final plat being approved and recorded, there's got to be an access easement or some access to a public road, either through the front track, the 6 acre, which would be kind of difficult because there's a drainage pond or pond in the middle of it, likely through the back 140 to 150 acres that the adjacent owner owns. But that's the condition, and the owner of the property and the purchaser both know that that's a condition for platting and stuff. The staff is recommending approval, and the Planning Commission is recommending approval. I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you much, sir. Thank you very much. It is now open for public hearing. Does anybody wish to step up and speak on that one? Going once? Going twice? Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm here representing that property. I just walked in a little bit late.
Okay.
Was there any specific questions on that back 4 acres?
Nobody up here is that.
Okay, so it looks okay because we are using the separate instrument. It is the same owner of both properties. So, okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, if there's nobody that wishes to step up, other than the lady that just came and spoke, the public hearing is now closed on that. Lisa, do we have anything else we need to do on that? Do we need to make a motion to approve on that? Okay. What, your name and address for the record, ma'am?
My name is...
If you come up there to the microphone, just...
Sorry, I'm Bethany Janes, and then I represent Ty Davenport at 1730 Highway 205.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve 6.5, the preliminary plat approval for the Davenport acres, the Davenport Estate, 6.11 acres?
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary plat for Davenport Estates, 6.188 acres, part of Rockwall CAD, parcel ID number 11452, K Latham Survey, track 67, generally located on Smith Road, south of FM 550.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
I do have one question.
Go ahead.
The easement, Just so I understand the need for the easement. What is the plan for that exactly? You said it'd be difficult, but how does that get it?
No. If there's two ways you can get an easement to the road. You can go to Smith Road,
Okay.
which would be the short way, but there's, you could have an easement on paper, but you really wouldn't be able to get there because there's a lake between here and there. So the logical way is you go out the back through the 140 acres till you get to 550, I guess it is, somewhere right up in here. The easement just needs to be recorded, and then the recording information will be put on the plat. So that then it may end up going away if the property behind it is platted into something else, but that guarantees that if that's sold, that back part is sold, that they'll have access. Even if it's the same owner. If it's the same owner and they plat it all in one lot or sometime in the future, then they could get rid of that access easement. You just don't want to leave someone landlocked, and this sort of puts it on notice that they have easement, they have access to that back part of the property.
So if they went out to Smith Road, do you know approximately how far that is? Or?
To Smith Road, it's just the depth of that front lot, a few hundred feet. But like I say, the problem is the front lot obviously has frontage. They're just a driveway connection.
Right.
The other one on paper, to go to 550, that's probably a couple thousand feet. The idea is if I bought that back piece of property, I know I have access. It may not be easy access. I may have to build a road, but I'm not going to be landlocked. It just puts that person on notice that they're not landlocked. Okay?
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Judy? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sorry.
All right, show that unanimous. Moving on to 6.6, public hearing, discussion, and action regarding a request by C&G ROS Development LLC seeking approval of a final plat for Rosini Winery's addition, 2 lots on 25.01 acres of land located on the east side of State Highway 205, Rockwall CAD parcel 11440, as described as 411 State Highway 205. All right. Paul, again.
Again, this one is actually a final plat for just 25 acres, as you mentioned, 2 lots. There's 2 zoning categories on that. The front part is zoned a PD, which is a wine and winery and wine tasting, and the back half is single family. The P&Z has recommended approval of the final plats. We're recommending approval of the final plat. There's some engineering that's been provided. The really only condition that is part of this plat is that if they make any connection to 205, they need TxDOT approval as anybody makes a connection on a state road. That's pretty much a standard detail for that scenario. As mentioned, the P&Z recommended approval for nothing, and the staff's recommending approval. It complies with the requirements for a final plat.
Council, have questions for the city planner on this one?
Is there not any ag zoning in this property or portion of it?
No, it's zoned, the front piece is at PD and the back half is 2.5, SF 2.5.
Any other questions for him? Thank you, sir.
Sure.
All right. Now going to open it up to public hearing. Ms. Rosini, you had signed up to speak on this one or make comments?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. As we're coming here, we want
Make sure you state your address too, please.
sorry, Carol Rosini, 411 State Highway 205. We're coming requesting final plat approval and site plan approval for the winery. I know there's been a lot of things, said lately at different meetings and things. I just want to assure the council that the issues that we've been made aware of the last couple of weeks that we are addressing. We've already made some steps, and we are in the process of doing additional things to address those concerns of our neighbors. So really, with that being said, we just are, requesting that you approve our final plat and site plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ms. Balfour?
Just out of curiosity, because I haven't been here in a while, has the city attorney on vacation?
He has got another commitment for the evening.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so Adrian Balcom, 1518 Forenza Court. I'm just here for the public hearing for the winery here. The applicant's plat has met all the requirements necessary. The hired city planner also recommends approval who has reviewed the requirements and plat. The documents provided in your brief, the final plat meets the requirements for approval in the subdivision ordinance. City council should vote to approve this. Any other discussion outside of this plat should not be entertained. As you already know, you'll pretty much handle it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, if there are no other, or are there any other comments, anybody wish to speak concerning this particular agenda item? If not, the public hearing will be closed for the evening. I'll entertain a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion based on the plat meeting all the technical requirements that it's approved as platted.
Got a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I have a motion. I have a second. Do I have any discussion on this?
I have a question. This will be concrete or paved, correct? It's not going to be like a rock.
Any other questions? If there's no other discussion or questions on this, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Show that unanimous. All right. We'll move on to 6.7, appoint member of council to serve on investment committee. Ms. Lisa, I'll turn it over to you. Yes. Council have a recommendation of which one of you would like to be on the investment committee?
Can we push this to after the other things that we're going to do?
And right.
Well,
Go ahead.
is it a motion? I'll make a motion or a nomination.
Okay.
Haven't spoken to you, but I'll nominate William Dahl.
Okay. We have William Dahl nominated. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You can't vote for yourself.
But it's good to hear you want to. It's good to know you want to. Yeah.
I'm glad you're voting, but you can't vote for yourself. All right. There's your selection. All right. Now we're going to move back down to 6.3, discussion and action regarding accepting a letter of resignation from City Council Member Place 2 Herman Larkin. As you all know, Herman's wife had some health issues that are requiring a lot more of his time than he can dedicate to the city. And with great regret, Mr. Larkin stepped down to take care of that family member. I have all the respect in the world because it's a tough situation, especially when it's your spouse. So, you know, he has resigned as that council member. You know, as far as accepting it, I don't know that we really have a choice in the matter. But
Is it a formality that needs to?
yeah, motion to accept his resignation.
I'll I'll make the motion to accept his resignation.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. I don't think there's any discussion really needed on it, but is there? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, show that unanimous. All right, now, moving on to 6.4, discussion and action regarding recommendation by the mayor to appoint Nathan Hodges to fill council member place 2's vacancy and serve until the next municipal election. All right, my recommendation to council is to appoint Mr. Hodges to fulfill the rest of Mr. Larkin's term. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept your recommendation, I guess, as appointing Mr. Hodges to fill council place 2.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Any discussion on that? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Show that unanimous. Mr. Hodges, welcome aboard. With Lisa, do you want to do the formalities now, or do we want to wait until we're done with the rest of the agenda? Right. Do you want to be sworn in now, or do you want to wait until we're done with all the rest of our stuff? Pardon me? All right. Come on up. Or as Bob Barker would say on the Price is Right, come on down. All right. I can hold Jim, come up.
Thank you.
All right. You will raise your right. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of the City of McLendon-Chisholm, Council Member Place 2 of the State of Texas, and will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. Congratulations. Oh, would you?
Thank you.
All right, we're down to financial reports. The 7.1 financial reports. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. If there's no questions on that, 7.2 building official report. Any questions on that? Okay. 7.3 fire district report. Mr. Simmons is out. I imagine he's at training. It's Tuesday. So I don't have any questions on it. I don't have any questions on it. Okay. The fire rescue incident chart. Any questions? And then incident report. Any questions? All right. Any questions on it? Excuse me. The sheriff's report for the month of June. All right. Then we will move on. Updates, discussion, direction of staff. I don't know that we have anything on that one right at the moment. We'll move on to 9.1. Announcements, reports, and general information. Something that is coming up, folks, so that you are aware of it. Mind you, it's a couple of weeks out. But August 17th, that is a Saturday, at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, there will be a town hall here with Senator Bob Hall. So If you want to know what's going on with our fine state senator and the things he wants to share about what's going on at the higher level of government that benefits you, benefits us, I suggest you attend. I highly encourage him. Mr. Hall is a great man, and he does a great thing for the state. Okay. But that is coming up. School's fixing to start in about 3 or 4 weeks. Yay. That's another thing. Be wary in a few weeks. We'll have another council meeting before then. But school's fixing to start, which means there's going to be kiddos out there on the corners. You got to be careful. Watch for them. That's really all I have right at the moment. Jim?
So for Emergency Services Corporation Board, I don't know if I'm this. Okay, so Barbara Nelville was offered the role of coordinator, emergency service or emergency management coordinator for the Rockwall County. I did sit in on that interview board, and I'm very pleased with that decision. We had a lot of great candidates for it. Couldn't have gone wrong with any of them, but she brings a lot of great skills. And economic development, we're going to be refreshing that. We're going to be reaching out for some new volunteers for participating on that. So I'm going to be putting that out there, working with Lisa to put that back out on the board, or on the website, rather.
Folks, if you have not thought about that, this economic development advisory committee he's talking about is to help with the ideas and the generation of getting businesses interested in coming to our area. I'm just like you folks. I'm a citizen when I'm not on this side of this desk or on this side of the podium. I don't like to pay high taxes any more than anybody else. If we don't bring some good business in to offset some of those taxes, I mean, we as the citizens are going to bear the cost to keep this city going. I'd like to see it balanced to where we as the citizens aren't bearing all the taxes to keep our city fluent and functional. You know, good businesses. But part of that committee is you as citizens, along with Mr. Bloom, looking at what best fits what we as a community would like to see. Not just any old business coming in here. You know, we as the community talk about and work together to bring what fits us. You know, we're not Rockwall. We're not Royce City. We're not Mesquite. We're not anybody else. We're McLendon-Chisholm. And we are unique. So our businesses need to fit us. So if you've not ever thought about serving on a committee, then that's where to help shape the future of our city. I suggest that you look at it if that is something that you desire. Ms. Kippa?
The brick campaign is going full speed. Bricks are $30 each. These are the order forms, which you can find online as well. There's some out in the lobby and some in the back of the room. So if you know anyone that might be interested in purchasing a brick for a family member that was a veteran, a friend that was a veteran, in a way to memorialize them or recognize them. The first order of bricks will be submitted on the 13th of September. That will be in time for us to have a Veterans Day ceremony, at which point we will christen the new brick block, the new brick memorial. So again, the first suspense is the 13th of September. As far as the website goes, I'm working with Lisa, and we are shooting for, or have been given the deadline of August 27th to get the website scrubbed. So Lisa and I we're working on that diligently, and I'll be working on the ordinances after that. So that's the only announcements that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And obviously, Mr. Larkin is no longer with us, so we'll move over to 9.4. As that responsibility was given to Ms. Kippett. Trudy?
All I have is the MC50, and our next meeting that we've got is August 7th. We've changed it to 6:30 in the evenings instead of in the daytime. And that's it. That's all we've got so far. Doing really well, though.
Good.
Yeah.
We've got good community
Yeah.
involvement. Great.
Doing really good.
Good, good, good. All right, Mr. Dahl?
I have no announcements
Okay.
right at this time. Well, this is just a question for Lisa. With the investment committee, are we looking for people to volunteer for that, or?
No, this is a small thing that our attorney usually attends here at 10 hours, and we can also hire a financial advisor if necessary. Usually doesn't come on an hourly optional for us.
All right. If there's not any other questions, anything for Lisa, this meeting is adjourned. 7:04 p.m. or 7:05 now. Don't need that one. Thank you. I didn't know. You're good. You're good. We're done.
See.